Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. I'm glad that everyone has power to join us on Shabbat. This is our 5 for 5 of being rained out or weathered out of our Shabbat outside. Hopefully next Shabbat we'll be able to be in Teva in our outdoor space to celebrate Shabbat. But if we can't be there outside, at least we're joined together on Zoom as we celebrate Shabbat. And so the Jewish world lost a significant scholar this morning and was buried this morning in Jerusalem, Rabbi Adin Steinholtz.
Ooh.
He was a groundbreaking commentary and created an English translation of the Babylonian Talmud, a piece that many people use. I know that I used it a little bit in rabbinical school. I'm sure Rabbi Appel might have used it as well, and Cantor Anna Ott. He had written over 60 books, was an Israeli prize laureate, and he was probably one of the greatest scholars of our time translating this text. And so I share a few words this evening as we begin Shabbat services and from a Rabbi Steinholtz. He writes, "Just as we swing daily between sleep and waking, so too we need to oscillate between the two opposing modes of study and prayer. In study, we question, we critique, we analyze. We ask, and every question is not only permitted, but encouraged. In prayer, on the other hand, we let go of our questions and step out of our critical minds. In prayer, we become simple and wholehearted. For many of us, simplicity does not come easily. We have been raised to always question both others and ourselves, and find it almost impossible to turn off the inner voice of doubt and disbelief. Steinholtz's insights may help us to see that a balanced Jewish life allows and even requires us to move constantly back and forth between the two equally essential modes of doubt and faith. Each of us will find our own doorway into the mode of prayer. For many, music has the power to move us from doubt to faith. For others, silence. For yet others, the ancient poetry of our Hebrew prayer book has the power to shift our consciousness from the eager, vital, hungry mode of questioning to the still, quiet, deep mode of simplicity. We continue our service with some Shabbat singing. But before we do that, actually, we will light our Shabbat candles on page 120. And on the reading on the other page, it's my honor to invite Aaron Solomon, our coordinator of youth and learning and family engagement, who we will get to honor a little later on this evening. And so Gail and Joel, if you just move one page to the left, perfect. And Aaron, if you want to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Thank you, Rabbi. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. We continue with מה יפה היום. מה יפה היום, Shabbat Shalom, מה יפה היום, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
We continue our service with the words of Lecha Dodi. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. On the final verse, we'll rise, face any door as we welcome the Sabbath bride.
So this is one of my favorite musical settings of Lecha Dodi. I think Lecha Dodi is kind of essential to Kabbalat Shabbat, and I have many favorites, but this has suddenly risen to the top. And this one is by Josh Warshawski. Shabbat. Please rise and face your door.
You're muted, Rabbi.
We're going to continue on page 137. We're going to share the screen again, and I'm going to invite Samantha Eichert to read that prayer at the bottom of the page. Sorry, 147, page 147. You were right.
O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be strong, that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence.
Thank you.
And we turn back to page 146 for our call to worship, the Baruch. Please rise.
Yeah.
לחושך לפני אור. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Baruch atah Adonai hamariv aravim.
We continue on the bottom of page 151. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. We continue with the Shema on page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Ha'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Ha'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. We continue with the Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Rabbi Richard Levy writes, all Jews have their own Egypt. We must each free ourselves in our own way from the bonds that keep us from our true integrity. When that bond is burst, when we have ousted the illegitimate masters from our minds, then one day we each can come to God, each on our own ground, within our own flame, but each to the same ultimate reality, whose power guides the sea, the earth, and each person's freely loving soul. We continue with the Mi Chamocha on page 158.
Mi chamocha Adonai mi kamocha, neda bakodesh, norati lot, osei felech. Mi kamocha, ba'ilim Adonai mi kamocha, neda bakodesh, norati lot, osei felech. Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Malechutecha ra'uvanecha okei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam ze Elianu anu ve'ameru
The Vishamru reminds us that we have this gift from God, a day of rest, a day to relax and be refreshed. We continue on page 162.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat l'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorot haberit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat l'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorot haberit olam. Beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat l'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorot haberit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asarnai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat l'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorot haberit olam. U'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat l'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorot haberit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat l'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorot haberit olam.
It has been said that prayers are signposts along the way, visible even in the fog, pointing in the right direction and reminding us what to remember. The next portion of our service, the Amidah, reminds us of our ancestors, of our strength, of the sanctity of Shabbat. We join together beginning on page 164. I invite you to rise.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, that my mouth may declare your glory. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Emoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסירים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדור מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ולמדת לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue on page 178 with Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'tov b'einecha lefaret et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. 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 Tasim Leolam. נשים לעולם.
We now take a moment for that all too rare opportunity, the prayers of our hearts. When we are done, we will continue on page 180 with Oseh Shalom.
Shalom Birama, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'yokah Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'yokah Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'yokah Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'yokah Yisrael.
We take a moment now to call to mind those who are in need of healing. We use our ancient words of the Misha Berach, found on page 371 of our prayer book. Misha Berach Avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzhak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are now ill. As I read the names of those for whom we are praying from our congregational family, I invite you to type in the chat box the names of those for whom you may be praying today. We hold in our hearts Zalman Bendina, Gabby Kraft Buckman, Aaron Taylor, Susan Robb, Linda Rabino, Arlene Furman, David Bregman, Rabbi Rob Nosenchuk, Neil Silverman, Susan Klein, Linda Fleischer, Don Hirsch, Martin Ostroff, Sharon Nice, Pearl Weitzman, Summer Curter, Mason Rockmore, Emily Tucker, Bernie Weinstein, Larry Maslow, Perry Shellman, Barry Sakowitz, Rochelle Spurgell, Martin Spurgell, Mike Blumenfeld, Somsai Bilame, Clive Brown, Marcia Brown, Marissa Fisher, Andy Secutris D'Orio, Nicasio Gratina, Stacy Whitfield, Nate Maslow, Shirley Rosenberg, Isaac Peck, Lawrence Zinstein, Barbara Puglisi, Justin Jeffers, Sharon Zidney, Yolanda Lott, Kenneth Diamond, Joyce Kagan. And from the names that have just been shared with us, Bernard Greenworld, Lerner, Arlene Lerner, Jason and Scott Lerner,
כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. בשבת קודשך באהבה ורצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן.
L'chaim. Please be seated. I guess not much sweet happened this week. I guess people are cleaning up after a storm, but Scott Lazar, he played tennis without injuring himself, so that's always good. But there is extra sweetness today because it's Cantor Anna Ott's birthday as well. So we wish Cantor Ott a happy birthday, sweetness on this Shabbat. I hope you have cake after services as well. So while it's not sweet, but we are sad to say goodbye to Aaron Solomon. He has brought a lot of sweetness to our community over the past year. Many of you probably have not gotten to know Aaron, but Aaron has been our coordinator of family and youth programming. He's been our Tutti advisor for the past year, as well as works closely with our 6th grade program Nisayon, and making sure that we are up to date in our 21st century with forms and technology. So Aaron, we thank you, and we have a special message that we want to share with you tonight. Oh no. Let's try that again. Did that not work? There was an error message. It worked. We even tried it out. So let me, I'll make sure to send that to you. But that was Aiden and Dylan. Aiden and Dylan are our youth group presidents, and they had a special message for you. Wishing you all the best. I'm gonna try to pull that up again, but that will take a moment when I do that. But Aaron, you have really brought a lot to our community in just this short year. And we want to acknowledge all that you have done. And so I share this blessing with you. It has been said that teachers think they're teaching us what they know. They hope they're teaching us what they believe. But all they can really teach us is who they are. At the end of a year of learning with a teacher, we must feel we have learned what we came to learn. We may feel frustrated that we did not master more of the information we sought. We may feel awed by how much there is yet to learn. And may we feel that we have been deeply changed by the experience. Baruch atah chonein hada'at. Blessed is the one who has graced us with intelligence. And so we offer this blessing to you. It's from the Kaddish de Rabbanan. May you be blessed and strengthened as you have blessed and strengthened your students. May you have peace, greatness, grace, kindness, mercy, long life, and everything you need. And together we say, Amen. And so Aaron, I'm gonna ask you to stall as I try to pull up that video. So maybe you can share with us a experience from this past year that has really sticks out to you. And then also share with us where the wonderful job that you have also are going to soon as well.
Thank you so much, Rabbi, for that blessing. And I'm excited to see this video once we get it up and running. This year has been very special for me. This was my first job out of college. And I think everyone can think back to their first job out of college. It's a pretty magical time and you're learning a lot about yourself. And I really want to thank the Temple Emanu-El community for helping me learn more about myself and find myself as a professional and an adult for the first time ever. Working with the children and families in this community has been really incredible. This is a very special place and Westfield will always be a home for me. I hope to come back and visit soon. Hopefully we'll all be able to be back in the building together and I'll be able to come see the sanctuary again. I'm excited to say the next year, starting next month, I'm taking a position at Central Synagogue in New York, in Manhattan. Also working as an educator, part of the religious school team there. So not too far. Whenever anyone's in New York, give me a shout. We'll always be happy to get lunch, get dinner, get coffee, catch up. and hopefully I'll be able to come out to Westfield and visit. Not a far train ride.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Aaron. I have this pulled up. Hopefully it works. If not, I'll email it to you after. But we have our teens sharing a message for you.
On here and say thank you so much for this year. It was such a great year, and we got so much accomplished and did so much. Unfortunately, it was cut short, but I know that the events that we were planning would have been so much fun, and the events that we did have were awesome. And you really left a great, lasting legacy on Tootie that we're gonna keep on going for years to come.
Hey Aaron, thank you so much for all you did this year for Dylan and I and all of Tootie. Some of my best memories from this year were when Dylan and I would just meet in your office and talk and plan events and stuff like that. You were always so energetic about Tootie and would really listen to our ideas, and we both really appreciate that. You were a really good role model to Dylan and I. Here is a mug that Dylan and I got for you. We hope to be able to give it to you soon. It's also from the rest of Tootie. But yeah, we'll really miss you next year and wish you only the best in the future.
Thanks so much for organizing that, Rabbi.
Well, thank Dylan and Aiden, and thank you for the impact that you have had on our community. And we look forward to hearing what all the amazing things you do at Central Synagogue. They are lucky to have you a part of their community as well. But you'll always be a part of Temple Emanu-El, and we're glad that this was your first job and it's on your resume as well.
Thank you.
Any Jewish summer camp attendee, nifty participant, Shabbat dinner frequenter knows the Birkat Hamazon, the blessing after the meal. They know when to bang on the tables, how to add clever rhyming words to the liturgy, and where the call and response parts are located. Yet when I was a camper, I had no idea what I was saying. I had no idea the history or the development of this prayer. The Birkat Hamazon is considered to be one of the most ancient prayers in Jewish liturgy. And of all the blessings that have become an indelible part of Jewish custom, the Birkat Hamazon is one of the small number that have a direct mandate from the Torah. And that mandate comes from this week's Torah portion, Akev. We read, when you have eaten and are satisfied, you shall bless Adonai your God for the good land that God has given you. This decree to praise God after one has eaten is commanded by Moses to the children of Israel after the crossing the Jordan into the promised land. The Babylonian Talmud expounds upon this verse. Adonai your God implies that blessing of blessings of nourishment we enjoyed were also to address a special blessing to God. The Birkat Hamazon is one of my favorite blessings, as it feels like you are doing an entire service at one time. Many say that the Amidah is to synagogue liturgy, as the grace after a meal is to prayer in the home. One sees this connection by looking at the format of the Birkat Hamazon, which contains a call to prayer, 4 major blessings, and concluding prayers. There's additional material added to the Birkat Hamazon on Shabbat, during festivals, and at life cycle events, similar to the Amidah's additional prayers for festivals and Shabbat. And both of them end with the words of Oseh Shalom. The earliest example of Birkat Hamazon in Reform Judaism came in the Union Haggadah of 1909. And since then, the standard Reform Birkat Hamazon has been tweaked and solidified. The Birkat Hamazon that most Reform Jews are familiar with is much shorter than the traditional one. The Reform movement's main emphasis of this shortened Birkat Hamazon was to eliminate redundancies, to abbreviate the number of quotations, as the larger of them no longer appeal or were meaningful. Shortening the prayer was also done so that the prayer could be used more widely in different settings, including the home, camps, and at synagogue meals. Not only has the length, but some of the themes of the prayer have been placed differently when Reformed Jews have been challenged by the Birkat Hamazon. Today, in a world where people are hungry and die of malnutrition, some have trouble saying a specific line of this prayer. At the end of Birkat Hamazon, one of the lines reads, I was a young boy, and now I'm an old man, and I have never seen a righteous man go hungry. This line specifically is troubling for us, as we are aware that there are so many people who are hungry every day. Are they not righteous? We saw and continue to see this past summer as lines at food banks and the needs of food at food pantries have skyrocketed. How can we say this line in the Birkat Hamazon at this time? Different approaches have been suggested to solve this predicament of the troubling line. Rabbi Mordechai Kaplan used to comment on this passage by saying, if you don't mean it, don't say it. Kaplan believed that this sentence could be easily omitted. Another method to his thinking about the difficult line comes from Rabbi Jeffrey Summit, my mentor when I worked at Tufts University Hillel. Summit feels that he can recite the line during the Birkat Hamazon because he believes that the line must be in this prayer to get our attention. As Jews, we cannot be bystanders. Part of being thankful for having food ourselves was being concerned about people who were hungry. And I'm proud to say that our Temple Emanu-El community noticed those hungry in our midst. Through the Mandy Reichman feeding program, our High Holiday food drive, and our Family Promise program, we support those who are hungry. And I'm really proud to say that over the past 2 weeks, we've raised over $10,000 for our Family Promise guests so we can support them with food and shelter, even when we can't open our synagogue doors. Birkat Hamazon gives us the chance to say a blessing that says thanks for the food that was just eaten, for the land, for Jerusalem, and the relationship that God has with the Jewish people. However, it's a prayer that most Reformed Jews don't say too often. Abraham Milgram writes, when we do this, they prefer to emulate Esau, as it is written in Genesis. He ate and drank, and he rose and went away. Thus, Esau spurned the birthright. While Milgram's statement may be extreme, it reminds us that as Jews, we should be cognizant of the food we eat and the importance of saying thanks. If it's the traditional version of the Birkat Hamazon or the abbreviated version from the Reform movement, this prayer gives us opportunity to give thanks, to think about those in need, and connects us to the larger Jewish story. Shabbat Shalom. We continue our service on page 586. I invite you to rise.
עלינו לשבח על אדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated Page 591. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with joy, of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. Continue with Vinette.
Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo echad.
There are stars up above, so far away, we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with the people that we loved. The memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. For the stars that light up in the darkest nights, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. Our synagogue community thinks of those who have died in the past 30 days. Jeffrey Carlin, brother of Peter Carlin, Robert Itzkin, father of Marla, Stephanie Popper, Dorothy Uchin, grandmother of Kara Tabachnik, Ron Esterman, cousin of Rabbi Chuck Kroloff, Mara Deception, husband of Gedalia Fairman, and Artie Lerner. We also remember the yard sites, the anniversary of our loved ones' deaths. Sadie Arutsky, M. Bernard Bernstein, Ralph Biederman, Celia Blinn, Marilyn Braffman, Rose Brody, Frida Buchhalter, Arthur Chiger, Jeff Davis, Dana Howard Day, Faye Dorlin, Norman Ellman, Rose Feldstein, Joseph Fine, Gloria Fox, Barbara Gelman, Harris Gilbert, Ann Ginsberg, Ralph Gleisenhaus, Richard Goldman, Abraham Golish, Ellie Gorlick, Leon Izanik, Theodore J., Charles Cantor, Marvin Klotz, Lena Lee Labovitz, Milton Lazarus, Sheila Lazarus, Max Leifer, Bertha Lessner, William Lowe, Susan Lupkin, Roberta Marks, Barnett Maurer, Benjamin Milgram, Eleanor Pacifi, Shirley Press, Esther Rosen, Chicky Rosenberg, Wendy Rosenberg, Sylvia Rosenberg, Joan Sanders, Renee Schlossenberg-Stawson, Cindy Schreiber, Sheva Schwartzberg, Florence Seidel, Eva Siegel, Henry Silberman, Abraham Silver, Barbara Simon, Elmer Simon, Frida Sudfield, Martin Weisbrot, Sylvia Weissman, Samuel Fogelman. We also add the names of those in our chat box: Alan Glass, Alana Zucker, and Lucille Chasnoff. You are in the period of mourning. I invite you to rise. Say the words of Mourner's Kaddish with me. I invite you to unmute yourself as we say these words, and I invite our entire congregation to join with me in the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma tivarach v'tei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon u'v'yomechon
Israel.
Yemru Amen.
Yehesh
Shalom Mibarach Le'olam Amei Amen.
Amen.
Yibarach Mahar V'Olam V'Aseh V'Tadar V'Shah Rifu V'Chata V'Nechemata
Amen. Yehi Shama Rabba Mishmael.
Amen. Osei Shalom.
Shalom Aleinu.
Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and all who mourn, and comfort the bereaved, as together we say, Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. We are a couple of quick announcements before we sing our closing song this evening, which is Adon Olam. Tomorrow we have Holy Scrollers and our Shabbat morning minyan. We also have Simchat Shabbat. That will be online as well, as it's supposed to rain overnight. This coming Tuesday night, we have the opportunity to study with my friend Rabbi Brandon Bernstein. He has a new job with Moshe House, but he is also knows his comic books really well, and he's going to explore the Jewish side to comic books. He's a wonderful teacher, and I hope you can join us for that at 7:30. And there's a couple other upcoming things that on Thursday at 4:30, we have Mohammed, the ice cream truck driver. He's coming. Caleb's really excited for that.
I'm coming.
Yeah, you can see Caleb there, and he will free us to join us to say hi.
Caleb.
And have some ice cream.
I'll get you something.
Yes, and you should have received an email from us this afternoon about the upcoming High Holy Days. We took a deep look at our offerings. Happy to discuss more with you. We took many of the conversations that we had at the High Holy Day Roundtable conversations, and I hope you see that in those what we are planning. And so if you have any questions, any of the clergy would be happy to share with you. And so our closing song is Adon Olam. Please join with us.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzinecha V'yeit Nasa V'cheso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kechlot HaKol Levado Yeloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hove Ve'hu Yiyeh B'tifara Ve'hu Yiyeh B'tifara Ve'hu Echad Ve'yein Sheni Lahamshilo Lahachira Ve'li Reshit Ve'li Tachlit Ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamisara Ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamisara Ve'hu Eli Echai Goali Ve'tzur Cheli Ve'yetzara Ve'hu Anisi U'manosi Menat Kosi Be'yom Ekra Menat Kosi Be'yom Ekra Ve'yado Hafkid Ruchi Be'ein Ishan Ve'ayira Ve'yimruchi Gibeati Adonai li ve'lo ira Adonai li ve'lo ira.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Shalom. Happy birthday, Cantor.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Nice to see everybody.
Very nice service.
Great.
Join us.
Shabbat
So
Shalom.
lovely. Shabbat Shalom.